Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
It is Monday, and all of our guests today, including Jannik Hansen, standing by, are brought to you by Basant Motors. Celebrating over 30 years in the business, let them show you why they are a top-rated pre-owned car dealer. Learn more at BasantMotors.com. And yes, Meyer versus Carlo was a thing on the weekend. Yesterday, they fought each other. Interesting, you were talking about those two players. They fought each other, and you're saying that Brandon Carlo
I did
coming
not.
to the Canucks.
I said if I'm the Canucks, I'm asking for Carlo, good Tri-City American kid, Western Hockey League.
We're joined now as the Canucks let go of Bruce Boudreau officially yesterday, along with Trent Cull, replace him with Rick Tocchet, new head coach of the Vancouver Canucks. We're joined now by former Canuck, member of the 2011 Vancouver team that made it to the Stanley Cup final, Jannik Hansen. Jannik, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me here.
How would you describe the state of the Vancouver franchise right now?
It's obviously not very good, depending on what you're looking at it here. If you're on Team Tank, it's going in the right direction. Mm-hmm. But again, where they were at the beginning of the year, how they let out as to what was expected of this team, it's obviously been a big disappointment. I mean, the way that they finished, almost squeaked into a playoff spot from being so far away. My expectations, everybody else's expectations were that they were continuing in the same direction. I think everybody had realistic expectations as well. Nobody expected them to be a 700 team, but again, not fall as far off as cliff as they did.
And a lot of people, Jannik, would say, well, Bruce Boudreau didn't have a chance because he was publicly criticized even after performing well during last season. What's your opinion of the way Bruce Boudreau was treated by the organization?
Yeah, I made the reference to the way Gerard Gallant was fired in Florida a couple of years ago, where he's stepping into a cab on the road. It wasn't done right. Again, organizations are in their right to fire a coach whenever they want, for whatever reason they want, and you can't expect them not to be talking to other people at the same time. So all that is all fine and well. What kind of struck a chord with me was Rutherford goes out and he criticizes Bruce on all these things, structure, team, the way they play defensively. Well, we were all kind of talking about the Canucks in the summer and needed to fix their defense. They needed some new players in. They needed some defensemen who could defend. These things weren't addressed, and that's personal issues. That's not Bruce's fault that he's not getting these defensive players. No, that's on management. And they didn't give him the players who could defend, could kill penalties. We're seeing the same issues under Greener, worst penalty kill in the league. And again, yeah, Bruce got to work with what he's got. But again, when Jim comes out and criticizes him in the way he did, it's a little bit more than just, okay, the team isn't performing. No, now you're almost pointing a finger, and that finger could probably have been pointed at himself before that. So there's a couple of little things that kind of irked me a little bit in the way it was handled.
Jannik, new coach. Give us a little history lesson. You with new coaches, you got a new guy coming in, new rules, new philosophy and everything. What kind of adjustment are the players going to have to make here?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough never to get a new coach mid-season. I don't think I'd appreciate that. You're learning on the fly. You're hoping that it can give you a bump in performance or whatever, but I don't know if they need that right now, to be honest. They're obviously not making the playoffs, so you're better off collecting less points, if you will. I get it. You want to get the new guy in, get used to it, accustomed to. It's kind of a freebie the next 30 games here. You get a feel for the players and all of these things. But again, it's never fun having to learn a new systems, even in training camp and through preseason when you have a ton of time and all these meetings where you can sit down and really plug it down. Now you're learning really fast in a hard way, and it's not just the main coach that lets go here. No, it's the defensive coach. It's three new guys you're bringing in that want to bring their own philosophy, their own style in. So there's a lot of learning on the fly here. And again, the guys will be probably pushed in a different way. I know nothing of Rick Tocchet other than he's coached some teams here and there. So again, I'm not speaking with any familiarity, but he seems like he's a different personality than Bruce. So there's probably some learning curves there as well.
Jannik, let's talk a little bit about JT Miller. His name came up quite a bit yesterday. His minutes, I think, are going to be cut down. He talked about body language. Just looks like a lot of the teaching is going to be with JT Miller here, Jannik.
Yeah, JT Miller has obviously been a vocal cord in this market. I mean, he signed a big deal, and you were expecting him to come out and perform in the same way as he did last year. Now he's obviously getting paid that way, starting next year. Yeah. And it didn't happen. And then it's very easy to point that finger, because again, he is a very, very characteristic player out there, and you can see it in so many ways. You can see it in the plays he does. Power play runs through him, so he produces some. But then again, once you get the other side of that coin, the attitude, the negativity, there's been some instances, and when you aren't performing the way you're expected, you got to be careful with that, because then they said it's so easy to turn that around, and now you're going to see a lot of negativism, criticism towards yourself. And again, there's no question JT Miller is still a good hockey player. He can still help this team win a lot of games. He's probably looked to as a leader as well. But then you got to take care of the things you can take care of yourself. Your play will always fluctuate a little bit. You can't be at 100% all the time, but you can control your attitude. You can control the way you back check, the way you forecheck, not turning pucks over, all these little things. So again, when you aren't playing up to par, that's when you'd like to see some maturity shine through here, and making sure you're at least not hurting your team.
Jannik, you killed penalties. You were known as a defensive forward. Is there anything that you see that's obvious that the Canucks aren't doing right defensively?
On a penalty kill specific, I don't think they have the players to do it. When I look at the roster, and a lot of times she's like, okay, who's going to be my first four guys out? I have a hard time outside of, okay, Bo's going to take the face-off because he's really, really good at that. You win the face-off, you clear it. But who are the other three? Same thing if you're on a 5-on-6. I don't really know who I want out there on the Canucks right now who can say, okay, these guys, they will jump in front and they will block a shot and take a couple of teeth out into doing so. So they're missing those defensive players that Vancouver has been fortunate to have for so long. I played with a ton of them. Edler and Tanev are probably the last ones that kind of they let go, and they haven't been replaced. Yeah. So now you're looking at another type of players, these puck-moving defensemen that are a little more skilled. Their gear is a little bit different, so they're not set up for blocking shots the same way. So it's a little bit of a personal issue. Not the same kind of pride. You always look at the skilled players, the guys that are producing. I don't really want them eating clappers from the point and one-timers on the penalty kill either, because I want them scoring goals for me. And again, it's all fine and well. You want to help your team, Quinn Hughes, PD kill penalties and these things. But I don't know if Quinn Hughes is as committed at blocking shot as a Chris Tanev would be. And that is the small differences. And yeah, okay, goaltending haven't been there either. So there's a lot of little nuances as to why the penalty kill aren't succeeding. But again, it is pride first and foremost, because you need to take pride in not getting scored on. And that comes easier to players who get paid not to get scored on.
Mm-hmm. For people who don't know, Jannik, what are you doing these days?
Absolutely nothing. That's why I have time to be here with you guys.
Yeah. Well, join the club. You're on the right show.
I say I don't do anything, and I'm busy every single day. I got three little kids that are in soccer, hockey, tennis, you name it, skiing. So we're running around everywhere. But personally, no, I don't do anything. I've done enough for myself for a long time. So now it's time to give back a little bit.
Oh, well said. Thanks so much, Jannik. I'm envious. We're going to get you back on soon. Thanks so much, my friend.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
You bet.